Welcome to The Good Work, a podcast and video series that follows The Event Company, an event design company that specializes in corporate, nonprofit, and social events. Our passion lies in creating one-of-a-kind events that share the good work of organizations we are fortunate to collaborate with. Tune in for conversations with leaders of these great groups, our best advice for your next event, and some behind-the-scenes moments. Now, let us show you The Good Work.
In this episode of The Good Work, the team at the event company will discuss internship experiences. One of our favorite days is welcoming new interns to our team throughout the year and beginning to share the good work with them. You will hear from past interns Maddie and Callie about their time as interns, all that they learned, and what it takes to move from interning to a career in event planning. Please welcome to today's podcast, Addie, Maddie, and Callie.
Welcome to this week's vodcast. I'm Addie with the event company. We've got two past interns, now
That's
present
us.
event
Yeah.
designers with us today. We've got a couple other interns on our team, or one past intern that's not here with us this morning. And then Chloe, she's interning with us currently. But today we're talking all things internships, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one because it's fun to hear your guys' perspective from being an intern.
Right.
To where you're at now. And I think we're going to talk about some funny pieces of interns, like what's happened over the years. And we've had interns who did intern with us who really wasn't the best fit for them or us.
Yeah. It happens.
I know.
It happens.
And that's the whole purpose of internships, right?
Exactly.
Gotta find what you're
to
interested
learn.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys know, I know you know this, but I went to school for criminal justice and poli-sci at the University of South Dakota. And my internships were nowhere near as killer as ours.
Oh, no. Yeah. Mine
Was
my
a
first
really good
yeah.
experience.
Good.
Very hands-on.
Are you saying that just because I'm here, Maddie?
You'll never know.
Yeah,
No.
I guess so.
No, it really was really good. I really
for
did
sure.
love
Mine
it.
was too. Obviously, I kind of switched my whole path because of you.
Aww.
So, like,
Dang.
I had,
Here we are.
yeah,
sweet.
I was
I like
a
it.
sports management major and
You did
had
some
planned,
events, so-
I had planned things for 3 years, but I thought I was going to do golf for the rest of my life. And then I met Addie, and now here I am.
Oh,
Same.
history. So why event planning? I'll start with you. I mean, Callie kind of filled us in a little bit. I mean,
Right.
she did golf, sports management, but she had some experience in the event
Yeah,
planning.
business
You did
and
as
stuff,
well.
Yeah.
So I want to hear from you, Maddie, first. Like, why event planning? Because you've been doing events for quite a while.
Right.
At a past job up in the cities, near the cities. So
Yes.
I want to hear about your past history and how you found us.
Oh, for sure. So I am originally from the Minneapolis area, Minnetonka specifically, and I worked at a boat marina for several years. Shout out to Howard's Point. Love Howard's Point. It's my home. And yeah, we did a lot of pontoon rentals, group gatherings. We always had an end of the season employee party, and then we started having like a big gathering where people that kept their boats at our facility would come and get to know each other. And
Oh, that's fun.
That's
Yeah, like
awesome.
a
Yeah.
little like a reunion, like end of summer
like
type of
a
deal,
like
or
a
no?
get to know you thing, because
Oh.
you pass by these
Like a
people,
mixer.
yeah,
That's
every
awesome.
single day all summer, and you never. I mean, a lot of people are very social, but other
Yeah.
people, they're like, yeah, I know that guy because he keeps the boat at the marina like I do, but
Yeah.
they don't connect.
Yeah. How
So-
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really liked it. So I had just a little bit of event planning experience.
Whoa,
not
that's
too
not
much.
what it sounded like during your interview process, Maddie.
I had to talk myself up. I had to get in there.
Wow. Your interview was so different. I mean, it was so fun though because we did it
was.
via Skype. Was it Skype or FaceTime? I can't remember. One of the two.
Oh yeah, I
But
think it was FaceTime.
It was so fun because you obviously weren't here in person.
Right.
And I think we had just closed applications at that time too, or we're nearing the closure of it. Because
Yeah.
typically for those of you that are listening or watching, we have an internship kind of application period. We typically keep it open 1 to 2 months. It just kind of varies. But we get the word out to the local universities, different schools. I've had the opportunity to speak at a couple different universities. So we've got those connections with some of those professors in hospitality management. But we really push the word socially and kind of get the word out that way. And you reached out to us. And it wasn't like we were leery at all, but I'm like, she's in Minneapolis. Like, why why here? She's in
Right.
Minnetonka. Like, why here? But you moved because of a boy.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Good old Carter.
Jason Carter, always chasing him around.
He's a part of our family now too, which is awesome. But that was when did we talk? April? March?
I think
March?
we talked, I believe it was in March.
Yeah.
Either end of February or March.
So crazy.
I know. Carter had moved down here for an internship, and so he was like, I would really like to stay out here, and I went to USD for a brief period of time.
Yotes.
So
Go
Yotes.
I love the hand signal.
Yeah,
Yep, go Yotes. Yep, good job.
So I was good to move down here as well because I liked the area. So I had decided that I was really interested in event planning, and I just did a very broad search of event planning in South Dakota, and then I narrowed it to Sioux Falls, and the event company popped up.
So
And
awesome.
yay. Yeah.
And here
And
you
we're
are.
so excited that you're here with us now.
You are
Lucky
an-
lady me.
Honestly, a perfect fit for us. We were talking to Nate, who is our guy behind the scenes, our fabulous producer. We were talking to him before you got here today, Maddie. Callie and I actually were. And we were saying, like, you are just a perfect fit. Like, you have been since day one. You're like one of us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
guys.
hard because you just never know, how it's going to all work out.
Right.
And it's so awesome. You just fit.
Yeah.
You complete
You
me.
complete us.
You guys complete me too.
I don't know. It's so fun. But you moved from internship into employment.
Yes.
August?
In August.
Yeah. So
In
cool.
August.
So your first couple of months were probably a whirlwind of
Yeah.
internship.
Well, even just my first week, I came on and you were like, we have an event this weekend. And I was like, let's do it. Let's do it.
So crazy. Is it everything that you thought it was going to be?
I really did not know anything of what to
Again,
to
you made it
expect.
sound like you knew everything about event planning. Callie, do you remember you saying, I'm like, we got this girl.
Yeah,
she's
she
done
has
some
done
stuff
a
at a
lot of
marina, a
experience,
lot of
and I'm
experience.
excited.
She's managed people. And I'm like, dang,
Well, I have done a lot of those things, but like the just core event planning. Like I never had to.
Sometimes it's the
organize a
smallest
lot of-
details. Like I would probably say the same thing about myself.
Right.
Like I had planning
Yeah.
experience, but did I know linen sizes? No, I did not
No.
before
Yeah.
I got here.
You did
So, like-
say in my interview.
Do you remember that?
In my interview, Addie was talking to me, and I was, trying to be very receptive and responsive, and really trying to get my foot in the door. And she was like, "Yeah, some people don't know the difference between a 120 and a 9. Just like the sizes of
Yeah.
linens." And I was like, "Yeah, some people don't."
I remember that was the first thing you told me. She even knew linen sizes, and I'm like,
I got off the interview, and I was like, "What are the linen sizes?"
We need to do better reference checking.
I guess so.
will.
I'm really
Because of
sorry,
you,
you
Maddie. No,
guys.
just
I'm
kidding. We're
sorry.
kidding. What about you, Callie? I mean, you had event planning experience through all the golf tournaments that you did.
Yep.
What drew you to working with the event company?
Yeah, so like I kind of previously said, I think one of our first episodes is I kind of had a mentor who kind of nudged me along this
Shout out to
direction.
Mary
Colesrud again, rock star. So I was like, well, I'll take it. I thought I need another internship to graduate, and I just thought if anything, I would learn a lot and it'd be a good way to diversify my resume, right? And but then I walked in and I knew on my first day that I just kind of knew.
We sat in this little couch area,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, right
Yep.
over here. And you were amidst golf season, or golf season was start soon. Were you
Yeah.
in it already or starting?
When we interviewed, it was summer,
Yeah.
so I was
Yeah.
kind of getting started,
Yeah.
and then I joined. Literally, I think I had a tournament Monday, Tuesday, and I think I started the next day because I was just so excited. But it was just, I don't know. I knew like the first week. I think after my first event, I really knew that it was something I was passionate about, and just kind of, I don't know, caught me. And so I just.
What were you guys looking for in
then.
internships, though? Because that's a tough search. I
Yeah.
think whether you are a traditional student, which you were and you were not at that time. So I think everybody is so different in what they're looking for, whether it's for credits, whether it's not. Like, what were you guys looking for? Callie, I'll start with you. What were you looking for in an internship?
I technically needed it for credit. I could have found, but it wasn't my desire. Like that wasn't my end goal.
Sure.
My end goal was to learn and to get more. I think for me was more like the business and communication side of things that I hadn't necessarily had in my past internship. Just knowing, to better prepare myself for the real world and the real job. So I think that's what I kind of came in looking for, and it's been that and more. So.
Crazy. What about you? Was there anything that you specifically looked for
I mean,
in an internship?
I was looking for something that was going to be hands-on and that I could learn a lot from. And I keep referencing my interview, but in my interview, I remember you saying, I've been in internships in the past that I made copies and was the coffee girl and all of that kind of stuff. And you were like, so in my internships, I really try to get you involved and help you learn as much as you can. And I was like, this lady is about it. She is about the internships, and that's what you got to look for, is someone that is invested in you the way that you're invested in them.
Right.
And that was
a challenge at times too, but also culture is important to me. So like I knew I wanted, I've known about myself. I like smaller businesses, groups of people, but also that your missions have to align in a sense. Right. So we talk about this good work that we are a part of. That's always been an integral part of it for me. And so after our first event, I knew then that was what really drove me at that point, was to be a part of this good work that we do. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sarah may have the same kind of comments too, I'll just step back a little bit. Like the internship process, people will apply online or they will send us a resume, go through an advisor, whatever it looks like. And sometimes they're totally non-traditional. Sometimes we've closed the internship period and they still will send their notes over, their resume over. And sometimes that internship process or the amount of applications that we get is great. And sometimes it's really hard to weed the people out too. One thing that I've always said is we need to give people a chance, because just because they don't have event planning experience, they have to have some passion behind it. I have never wanted our interns to feel like this was just a credit filler at all. Because event planning is hard work. It is laborious. It is mentally draining sometimes. You are stimulating every single part of your brain cells to creativity, to physically doing labor. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. And when you're doing events, you're not talking with just 2 or 3 people. You're talking to those 2 or 3 people's people and their committees. And sometimes you're talking to 30 people for one event. Right. So, and the vendors on top of that. So there's a lot that goes into it. So I've always said you need to have some passion for events or some experience. And that's the first thing that I look for in when we're going through applications and resumes. And even the advisors that we work with at the universities, they understand that as well. And not only that, we work with so closely with some of those universities and colleges that they want to send us the best people as well. Sometimes they come from marketing fields. Sometimes they come from communications. Sometimes sports management. Hey. There's a lot of different areas, but we all tie together in that respect of a client or guest experience. So there's some piece that kind of binds us all together. And from that process, we kind of whittle that down and bring people in for interviews. Sometimes you're interviewing with the team. I know Maddie had a chance to interview with Abby when she was on the team and just kind of talk through that. And there were a couple girls in here probably when you were
it ended up just being us. I think they all took off. Okay. But I had met like Sarah and Abby.
So we try to involve the team because you're working with them day in and day out as well. Right. Like Chloe, I'll use that as an example. Like she knew Sarah on our team. So Sarah was also interned with us for, almost.
She did for the summer and
summer
then
months, and then
year.
we brought her on part-time during the summer. She works full-time or part-time during the school year, full-time in the summers, and now she's back to her part-time because she's still going to school. And phenomenal though. I mean,
she really
that
is.
girl, for not having very little experience. Her letter to me after she had applied was, give me a chance and I will do the best work for you. And I probably still have the email, but that girl's like, you're taking a chance on me. And I knew it going into it, but there was something about her ethics, her background with her family, being business owners. And she had talked about an entrepreneurial class that she was a part of. And you just knew, right?
I love it.
We just all kind of fit and we kind of jive together in that respect. But having that experience is important to me, or at least having the passion behind it, because it's hard work. And even like your first week of work, both of your guys' first weeks was hectic. What did you think what did you really think? You said, I mean, after your first week of interning, you knew that it was a good fit for you. What about you, Ice Queen? Because you hauled so many bags of ice in a gator.
I had a tough first event. Like, not because it was
you know,
a large
would
scale
never,
event, but it was just all the elements, an outside event, a personal event. Sometimes we'll just bring different characteristics to it.
You know, like I said, I really didn't know what to expect, but I think I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change my first event at all because it was big enough that I like got a taste for what we were kind of going to be doing for the summer, but then it was small enough that if, you know, it wasn't like if I missed something or I messed up, like the whole world would come crashing. You know, it's like the perfect size event to start out with.
Well, now since you're fully employed on the team, like if stuff goes wrong, it will come crashing down on you because you're not an intern.
See ya, buddy. Get out.
The biggest change you notice, it's all of a sudden you have responsibility. It's your fault.
So how did you, I should talk to you about managing school and like internship balance, plus you're in athletics.
Yep.
You're like this top of your game golfer.
Yeah.
I always brag
I almost feel like I should be the person to not ask about balance because I probably really didn't have any. We joke like last spring we were so busy. I actually don't know how I even graduated, to be honest. It was tough to say the least. Yeah, I didn't sleep a whole lot at times, but I just knew that I had my passions and where they were. Like I was very dedicated here. And once you find, I go all in all the time. So
you do.
I was like, I'm going to give it all that I can because I wanted to learn. And like I said, I was stuck. Once I got a taste, I was in. But I had these prior, you know, education was important to me. And
you did need to graduate.
I did need to graduate. And golf was also important to me too.
Yeah.
So it's just balancing. I do kind of joke I lived out of my car at one point because I just have bags of clothes. Remember when I was just like bringing bags of clothes? Like I change golf clothes here, go to practice, go to class, whatever.
Sarah's
I have
done
like
the same too.
5 different changes of clothes. Yeah, but you just make it work. My social life probably wasn't probably as much, but that's okay too because you know, you just make it work. But
so what's been the biggest thing for both of you for moving from that internship role into being on staff? Like what is that, like what's that felt like to you? I know you and I did a walking meeting when we were talking about it, which was so cool, and you and I had separate meeting, you know, beforehand as well, but I don't know, what did that, walk me through that process, like what it felt like to you. I'll start with you, Maddie.
So, you know, I was an intern and I didn't really know what was, you know, gonna happen at the end, and Addie asked me to go for a walk, and as like,
and we're gonna step outside.
I was like, oh, okay, you know, yeah, let's go. I was excited, but like nervous, and I'm like the most emotional person that I think walks this earth. It's ridiculous. So I was like, okay, no matter what happens, like you gotta keep it together. And we're walking, and all of these people are saying hi to Addie because everyone knows Addie, and so you know, I'm like, yeah, say hi, but you know, like. And so, you know, Addie was like, yeah, we feel like you're a really good fit. And I was like, okay, that's good. And then she was like, and we would like to maybe see if you would be with us part-time for now and like, you know, see what it's like. And in my mind, I was like, whoa, like, alive. But because I was just, I don't know, because that's obviously what I wanted. I was so happy here, and I love everything that we do, and I love all of you guys.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. It was like the best day of my life. And
has it been a different transition though, like mentally and like workload wise? Do you feel like, for me, I guess when I was an intern way back in the day, you go from this role of like, not like you're just clocking in and checking a box, you know, but it was more like now you have such a greater ownership of what you're doing and a commitment.
Yeah.
You're just not like, I don't know how to describe that.
I would agree. Yeah. Once I was hired, not that I wasn't invested in the events that we were already doing, but I feel like now I was like a part of them, and as a part of the team, you just have like a different level of responsibility, but also like you are fighting so hard for these events to be amazing, and you're just like in them. You want so badly for them to be amazing because you have a new level of like I want it. I want it to be
And
perfect.
I've seen a difference in you, and maybe you have as well, Callie, but I think I see more of that part where we had a meeting the other day with First Bank and Trust, and you had said, can I go? Like, I want to be a part of it. And it's not like we didn't or don't include our interns on those meetings, but sometimes they're just super quick and you just kind of go and you're in, right?
Right.
But you're asking to be a part of these things and you're leading up different projects now,
Right.
So I think that's the cool part, the transition that I've seen in you. What about you, Callie?
I feel like
do you
mine
feel like
was a little bit more probably prolonged in a sense because I was an intern for
more than a semester?
7 months-ish or so.
From October
a
up
semester
until
and a half about.
Right.
So I kind of felt that like the first few months was definitely, that basic level. But then in the spring, I got to kind of start to partly lead up a few events.
Yep.
But then again, once the summer started and became full time is when I always had the ownership, but to play the true like integral role into them that I did, just finishing up some of my first like big events.
Big events, Callie.
Big events that now you just feel I don't know, truly part of it. So
yeah, you just finished leading up events with large international companies and large regional companies and things where the governor was at. I mean, you've really kicked some ass lately, girl.
Yeah.
Dang, there's no other better way to put it.
It's a good feeling, but I also think like over time you could say too, like your confidence and your abilities. I think you come in as your first couple of weeks and you're probably a little timid. I know I was, but then to grow into this point that we're at now, it's fun. It's a good time.
So what advice would you give to people that are listening, whether they want to be an intern or perhaps a family member is listening in and they know their child is in school and need an internship? Like, what advice would you give to that person?
I think just give it a chance. I think I look back now and I literally just kind of took like a little leap of faith and just said I'm going to try something, not really knowing what was going to be like at the end of it. And my life has done 360 since then. So I think I can vouch for the fact that sometimes it just takes a little chance, whether you have an interest just a little bit or if you just want to try it out. Even though I know we want experience and things like that.
I totally understand. Yeah, I totally
even
get
just
it.
to interview, sometimes you learn so much just from an interview of what you want. So that would be the advice I kind of have. But also go with your passions.
Yeah,
whatever that is. Always.
I would have to agree. I think we've had, like I mentioned in the beginning, we've had a couple interns that were a part of the team that the passion just was not there. And maybe it was exuded through whether it was through their interview process or through others that knew us and referred them over. And you could see parts of it, but it just wouldn't fully come out, right? And sometimes they find out, and that's the purpose of internships. You may find out that it's not the right fit for you, right? And we move at a pace sometimes unlike anybody else, right? And you're managing, as I mentioned before, so many different things in one day. You could work on 6 different events in one day, And sometimes people don't realize that till they're in it,
Exactly.
And we're not trying to say that to deter anybody from being a part of our team, but event planning is just not always for everybody. But what I like about it is if you have a communications background, like you are so passionate about communications, now you're leading up TV segments and radio segments every week.
Yeah.
And it's cool things like that about the passion that you can fully now put into play, which is so awesome.
Exactly.
And for you, Maddie, I think it's just you've been a part of the team for a few months now and trying to kind of try to find your own, and you're asking to do things that's so different. What would you say for advice to anybody who's kind of wondering, besides make sure your resume is all up to speed of what you're saying? Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Maybe in my head I heard like, oh my God, this girl's like a rock star. You are a rock star.
I mean, no, just kidding. But for advice, I think you really have to dive in, and that's sometimes really scary. And I mean, I know when I first started, I was very timid, I guess, about like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Like, I don't want to have ideas and throw them out there, but you really have to. You have to be invested, and you have to not be scared to show them, that you are passionate and that this is something that you want, and really dive in.
I love that you say that, because people sometimes do feel like they're timid and they don't have a voice. We've never felt like that on the team. Everybody literally, like, we all take the trash out and we all break down boxes and we all, you know.
Yeah, we
like,
always say no one's above anything.
No, we all kind of just do things together, which is awesome.
Right.
But you do need to have your own voice on the team. And that would be my one big piece of advice is I want somebody who has a passion for events or has had experience, but also has a voice and they know how to voice it. Because we work so collaboratively together at our big table behind you. And that's where magic happens, truly.
Yeah.
Dreams are built at that table. And I want somebody to have a voice behind there. So if you're listening or watching, we are launching our application process for our winter internships here this week. So you can check out the Facebook page and or our website and check it out, apply right through there because we'll be making decisions here for our winter internships soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just ask questions. Sometimes maybe that's just what it is just questions. So, yeah, we'd love to.
We need a voice. We want your voice. That's
to
the
meet
kick.
some of you listening, hopefully.
Yeah.
And see you soon.
Awesome. I'm glad that you two interned, and I'm glad that you're part of the team.
Me too.
Truly. I know Sarah is too. She's in here in spirit.
Yeah, we love Sarah too.
But if you're listening, like Callie said, feel free to just check us out on Facebook or check us out on the website and get your application in because it'll fill quickly. But thanks for being here, ladies.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you. It's so
for
fun.
See you at the
having
big
us.
table.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of The Good Work. We hope our internship experiences will inspire you to chase your own passions and maybe even join our team. Join us next week as we introduce you to the company that makes our event dreams come true and one of our most dear friends, Chris Hintz from Pinnacle Productions. Don't forget to subscribe to The Good Work on YouTube and iTunes and follow the event company on social media to stay up to date on the good work we are part of each day.